Once upon a time, in a sunny little village, there lived a beautiful girl named Rosie. She had soft brown hair, tied with a bright red ribbon, and sparkling green eyes that were full of curiosity. Rosie loved playing near the clear river that flowed gently through her village, where she would splash in the shallow water and watch the little fish swim by. One bright morning, Rosie went to the river to play, but something was different. The water was not as deep as before, and some of the pretty flowers along the riverbank looked droopy and thirsty. Rosie felt a little worried. She ran home to ask her grandpa, who was sitting in the garden. "Grandpa, why is the river getting smaller?" she asked, with her big green eyes wide open. Grandpa smiled kindly and said, "Sweetheart, we all need to be careful with water. If we use too much, the river gets sad and shrinks. But if we save water, the river can grow strong and happy again." Rosie thought about this for a moment. Then she nodded with a big smile. "I want to help the river," she said. That very day, Rosie started saving water in her own little ways. When she brushed her teeth, she turned the tap off while she was scrubbing instead of letting the water run. She used a bucket to catch rainwater from the roof and carried it to water the flowers in her garden. She even told her friends at school, "Let's save water together so our river stays beautiful." Her friends thought it was a wonderful idea. One friend started fixing the leaky tap in his house so water wouldn't drip away. Another friend used less water when washing her hands and made sure to turn the tap off tightly. Soon, many children in the village were helping too. They made colorful posters that said, "Save every drop," and hung them around the village. Days passed, and the village worked together. They collected rainwater in big barrels, watered their plants only in the early morning when the sun wasn't too hot, and made sure no water was wasted. Rosie visited the river every day, watching it carefully. At first, the change was small, but slowly the water began to rise again. The river started sparkling brighter, and the flowers along the bank stood tall and happy once more. One afternoon, Rosie sat by the river with her feet in the cool water, watching the fish swim happily. Her grandpa came and sat beside her. "Look what you did, Rosie," he said proudly. "Because you cared enough to save water, our river is strong and beautiful again." Rosie smiled with joy, her green eyes shining. From that day on, Rosie remembered that even small actions, like turning off a tap or catching rainwater, can make a big difference when we all work together. The river stayed full and sparkling, and the whole village stayed happy and green. The lesson is, saving water is important because every drop we save helps keep our world beautiful and our rivers full of life.